Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a surprise Brandon appearance. By the title, you didn't know he was going to be here, but here he is. Brandon, I'm glad you did your hair tonight, dude. Your hair looks dynamite.
I know, isn't that sweet? I found a 20-year-old bottle, a tube of ice spiker gel in my drawer tonight, and I was like, I'm just going to try and do it. And I did it, and it looks sweet. I'm having sort of a flashback here. I hope there's no like brain damage ensuing from this 20-year-old chemical on my head.
You already know the chat people are already commenting in the video just by that statement.
Oh yeah. This might be the new look going forward. This might be the new look, dude. I don't know. I'm kind of digging it. I'll have to shave it off when we start shooting Sunny, but I'm in the meantime, I might just go back to this. I bought all the Sam Adams, the Oktoberfest pack tonight. The big, the multiple has all the fall beers from Sam Adams in it. I was gonna drink some beers, but I figured, if I start drinking beer, it's gonna take me 4 hours to get through these tapes. So I figured just stick with water and tea, and you'll be good to go. You know what I mean? It's just not that kind of night. It's not a beer night tonight.
No, it's just, we got a lot to talk about tonight. You know, number one, I see you got your Texas Chainsaw poster. Got that hung up. Who is that?
That is the mask from the Next Generation movie poster.
No, it's not really.
Mask from High Def Effects. It is. If you look at the poster for Next Generation, where he's in drag on the poster,
right?
This is the mask he's wearing. It's not in the movie, but it's on the poster.
It looks alien-like without it being on the actor.
I feel like, honestly, the mask on the poster for that movie is what pretty much inspired the mask used in 2022, because it's very similar. That's what I think. That's a personal take of mine. Very similar masks. But I love this thing. So
what did you do with all the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff? Did you put it in the freezer?
The poster? What I'm doing is all the posters I'm buying, I'm framing them all, and I'm keeping them in their frames. So I'm just buying new frames for every poster. So I can just sort of have a collection and put them up and take them down versus trading them out, because it's such a pain in the ass with these posters, these frames.
Yeah. I hear you.
They're not high quality frames. You got the tabs and shit. So
yeah, you got to be careful with those. The more you open those tabs up, the weaker they get. That sort of thing. I know how that goes. So Brandon, tonight's video, man, it's a question, but it's really like getting into the mind of a collector, which is kind of what you are with this. Let me just ask the question: why do people collect VHS tapes, specifically horror VHS tapes? It's still crazy. We just saw Terrifier 2 come out on VHS, and Brandon, people lost their minds over it.
Absolutely. Yep.
You couldn't even get them in stores.
Me, because I didn't get a copy. I know, I couldn't find it anywhere. I've been trying for 2 weeks now. Can't find it. People are losing their bag over it. It's pretty insane, dude. It's pretty insane. I don't know. VHS just appeals to the nostalgia. We all grew up in video stores. I think for the most part, most of us horror collectors grew up going to video stores where there were stacks and stacks and racks of horror VHS tapes with awesome artwork on them. The smell of the video store, the conversations you would have, whether with your friends, your dad, your mom, or the clerk behind the counter. And yeah, I think it's just, it really, it scratches that nostalgic portion of the brain, I think, more than a lot of other things do. And I think sort of like the resurgence of cassette tape, vinyl to a certain extent, VHS is just a huge resurgence.
I can't say I totally get it. Like before, what we're going to do tonight, guys, Brandon has a hardy collection of horror VHS tapes. He has a ton of VHS tapes, but he's got a lot of horror tapes. And Brandon, I see people collecting, obviously, different genres, a lot of 80s and 90s stuff specifically. But horror, I feel, there's more of a, like this bloodthirst for it, where people are going on eBay and they're spending $45 for a chopping mall on the low end,
including myself. Yep, and on the low end. Yep, some of those things are crazy.
Listen, I need, and let me just say this, because I feel like I'm a hypocrite a little bit, right? I collected Laserdisc for a number of years, right? And that's a vintage format. I feel like there's a bit of a difference from that. Like, because for me, Laserdisc was a format that was a premium format in terms of audio and picture. Especially when you look at stuff from the mid to late 90s on Laserdisc, it's still a great way to watch a lot of titles. In a lot of cases, it outperformed DVDs. They were done in the exact aspect ratios the way the directors wanted them to. There was uncompressed analog audio on Laserdisc. Even though it's a disc format, it's still an analog format in a lot of ways. So in a lot of ways, Laserdisc still could compete in the late 90s and outperform some DVD stuff. But VHS was the working man's format. And I feel like when people tell me, oh, I prefer to watch this movie on VHS, I'm not judging, because God knows I've got some quirks about me, but I really can't wrap my head around that. So when you hear somebody say, dude, I prefer to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS, do you agree? Do you think that's a weird take? I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't think it's a weird take. Personally, I love VHS tapes. I love the presentation. I love watching them on old tube TVs until this day. I love the way VHS looks and sounds and feels, but I prefer to watch stuff on the highest quality possible. So if I'm going to watch Jason Lives or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm going to pop in a Blu-ray or a 4K, depending on what's available. But I get the prestige of watching something like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS, because nostalgia aside, I'm going to keep bringing up nostalgia. I'm going to try to limit myself, but nostalgia plays such a huge portion or a huge part in this whole debate that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great example, because it came out in theaters in 74. And then it was really only on Betamax and VHS tapes for what, 25, 30 years before it hit DVD. That's what 90% of its audience probably grew up watching it on, was either you saw it at the drive-in in the 70s or you watched it on beta or VHS tape. And it just screams nostalgia. And I think VHS tape does lend a certain appeal to movies like that, which feel like snuff films already. VHS tapes sort of push that into a more visceral, I guess you say a more visceral territory, right? Because they feel more like snuff films, because the quality is so debatable. The sound's muffled a little bit. You're watching it in 4:3 on an old VCR on a tube TV. It sort of feels more organic and grungy, I guess you could say. That's probably the appeal.
One thing you mentioned, you said you like watching VHS on old tube CRT TVs. Do you find it weird if people watch VHS tapes on flat screen Sony TVs nowadays? Does that kind of defeat the purpose, you think? Are you gypping yourself a little bit by doing that?
I personally think you're gypping yourself a little bit, because it's not going to look as, first of all, it's going to look terrible. You'll still get the 4:3. It probably won't stretch the image, so you're still going to get the 4:3 classic image.
You're getting the black on the left and right on the screen. You know what I'm saying? If you
exactly. Which is what you want. It's just, I mean, that's fine. Just pretend the TV is not there, right? I don't know. It's just, that seems a little bit. It's just weird. It's sort of like when I got one of these adapters myself. When I first got a 4K TV a few years ago. Not this exact TV behind me, a different model, but I got one of those adapters where you could plug in your SNES or Genesis to it and play it through a 4K HDMI cord on your flat screen. Now, that was cool. It still looked great, but it didn't feel right. You still wanted to play those game systems on tube TVs. That aesthetic is just different. So I don't knock people for doing it, but I think you really should. If you're going to go the extra mile, go the extra mile.
I see
Otherwise,
what's
just
popular.
pop in a DVD or a Blu-ray.
What it seems like is popular today is people like getting those little combos, right? Specifically, little white TVs, the little Emersons or the little Zeniths, the little 13 inches with the built-in VCRs. That seems to be very popular. I see it on Instagram all the time. People, do you have any of those old combos? I have an old combo. I have an Emerson. We actually keep it in our kitchen. And like, it's a little one, like it sits on our kitchen countertop. And sometimes Sydney will grab a VHS tape and just put something on while she's cooking. Every now and then, she doesn't do it as much as she used to, but when she first set up, she would do it. Sometimes I would come home from work and there'd be a movie playing on the VHS player, or the little combo. It was nice, but I feel like that's very popular. Do you have any of those TVs still, little combos?
I do. I have a little tiny black VHS TV in the garage. I need to plug it in to make sure it works. I got it from my boss at work, actually. I need to pop in a disposable VHS tape and see if it actually works before I pop something else in. But yeah, I would love to put that in the kitchen, or maybe behind me here is like a background aesthetic piece and just have it playing something in the background. But yeah, I have one of those, and I have a giant JVC tube TV and a little early flat screen in the garage. I have all kinds of TVs. It's bizarre.
So you mentioned the word, you know, people are, you feel like people are chasing nostalgia a little bit, right? With the VHS, and they're going back to collecting movies on VHS and stuff they maybe saw in the video store when they were a kid. I guess the question is, my thing we're noticing is the price of these VHS tapes now. In my mind, stuff is only as worth as much as what people will pay for it at the end of the day. You can tell me what it's should be worth or this, that, but the reality is, to me, it's worth what somebody will pay for it. But the reality is people are starting to pay more and more and more for these tapes. When I go to Texas Frightmare, they'll have a booth with VHS tapes, and people will pay, dude, like $45, $50 for like Return of Living Dead 3. And they're grading VHS tapes now, which I don't get the grading. I got to be honest. The grading's a little silly. But I guess the question, Brandon, is how much is a memory worth to somebody? How much, what is the price of a memory to people, I guess? Because that's where I feel like people throw caution to the wind getting some of these tapes they want, especially if it was something that was important to them as a kid.
Yep. I personally, I don't have a draw line in the sand price. It really depends on the circumstance and the price of the memory, like you're talking about. It really depends, man, because I've spent, I can't tell you how much I've spent on a single VHS tape, but I've spent quite a bit on a couple of them. And it really depends on the circumstance and how valuable it is to me and the rarity of the tape and the situation that it is. But I could see myself spending $200 on a VHS tape if it was the right circumstance, possibly graded, something rare. You know what I mean? Like,
why? Let me ask you this: why buy something graded? Do you feel like do you feel like you would buy it to then sell it again?
No, I think I would just keep it on the shelf and have a, wow, this is really cool. It's always going to be in pristine condition because it's in this sealed box and it's been graded. So there's that extra cool appeal to it. It's kind of wonky and stupid, but it's also very cool a little bit. Same way you get vinyls graded, cassettes graded, comic books graded, cards graded. It's that whole new wave of, it's a big fad, right? This grading stuff for VHS tapes, but it's kind of cool. But if there was something like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that media release with that horrifying artwork on it before they re-released it from Video Treasures, you know what I'm talking about? It came out from media.
It's a shot of it's a shot of the eyes, like the big eyes,
right? Exactly.
Eyes and Leatherface running with the chainsaw.
Not the Video Treasures release, but the one before that. Those go for like $1,400 graded, sealed on eBay.
Well, what about?
That's not even a joke. Like,
well, how much are the Wizard tapes going? They have to be going for an ungodly amount of money because that was the original release.
I haven't come across one of those. Yeah, I haven't come across any of those, but if money wasn't an issue and I could just throw money around, I could see myself buying one of those, you know? Yeah. I think it really depends.
Yeah, the Wizard tapes, that's something. The Wizard tapes is something I would spend money on because they are so cool, those big box tapes. Do you have any big box?
I don't, unfortunately. I would love to have some, but I don't have any at the moment. What I want, my holy grail big box, this is a little off topic, is I want it. It's called The Return of the Alien Deadly Spawn. It's AKA just the Alien's Deadly Spawn. But that had a huge big box in Blockbuster and Videoland when I was a kid, and it was awesome. It had the 3-headed alien on the front, a big box. It was sweet. I really want that release, but I have yet to come across it on eBay, unfortunately.
So how many of these tapes that you're going to show us tonight have you bought recently, and how many have you had since you were a kid?
I've had quite a few of these since I was a kid. A lot of them, I'm missing a ton of them, probably 100 or more, probably. I've been divided up between my friends and family over the years, lost, destroyed, and God knows what happened to the rest. And then there's a lot of them that I've bought in the last couple of years on my VHS kick, whether it's from eBay, or the flea market or thrift stores, stuff like that. But I've acquired quite a bit over the last couple of years.
What's a better feeling? So getting a good deal on something online, or finding something at the flea market randomly?
Finding something at the flea market's wild. That's probably a better feeling. eBay is a little bit better because you're a little bit more insured, so to speak, because you can always return it. With the flea market, you're gonna have a bit of a problem. But the flea market, you get a little bit more of a jolt of dopamine when you find something out there. Like when I found Death Becomes Her out there, I was like, really? This is crazy. Sealed, no less, for like $1.
Oh, I'm ready to see that.
Are you kidding me? Like dude, that's insane. So yeah, flea market, definitely. Thrift stores for sure. Yeah.
All right, Brandon. So we've got that out of the way. I wanted people to get my perspective and your perspective on the VHS thing, because I'm not asking from a judgmental way. I really am not, Brandon. I swear to God. I'm trying to understand, and I'm hoping this video will help bridge the gap with me and the audience on this, because I'm sure people will watch this that are into VHS collecting and can explain to me what is. And you know what, Brandon, there may be a lot of perspectives on this. There may be a lot of people that say, well, this is why I do it. You know, like I do it because, you know, I like the aesthetic of VHS tapes, on like collecting those much better than this or that, or, you know, picture quality has never been something I've cared about. That's not important to me. And you know what, picture quality is very important to me. So I think I can understand that, but we'll see. But what I want to do is go down memory lane with you and look at your collection. If you have any cool memories of when and where you got it, let's do it. But take us wherever you want, man. You're going to steer the ship tonight, and I'll just interject random bullshit.
All right. I'll try not to lag too much on these piles. For those of you out there who have not watched our previous video, we did a video about zombie physical media that I have. And I
hope nobody slept on that episode, dude.
Well, go watch it, because I have a few zombie VHS tapes from that video that I'm not going to go through in detail here. I'm just going to show them off quickly. So if you want more details on these, go back to the other video and, yeah, see other mentions. So the Zombie 2 VHS, very special.
You're the only person I know that has that tape.
Oh, dude, it's a classic. This is the first one I ever saw. Bizarre. Love it. Fantastic.
And you said it's really high contrast. No, you can't, yeah.
It's bizarre. Like, yeah, oh yeah.
So fucking
and the tag
cool.
says Amoeba sale $2.99 when it was brand new, I guess. So yeah, man. This is from TZ Video.
You said that the intro of that one is weird.
Yes, that's the first version I saw. So it was not weird at the time for me. But on this intro, when he says the boat can leave now, tell the crew, on the American release, depending on which release you see, it cuts to black. You hear the zombie theme song, and then the zombie logo shows up either in green or white, right before it cuts to the credits. It just says zombie. On this release, when he says the boat can leave now, tell the crew, it cuts to black, really cheesy, like 16-bit blood drips down the screen. And then Zombie 2 shows up in either white or black font.
I love it.
And then it goes to the credits. It's quite weird, dude. I got to rip it one time and put it on YouTube. It's very bizarre.
You should do a zombie intro comparison and get every one you can.
Oh, I should.
That would do really good.
The more I collect too, because I'm getting a bunch of weird foreign releases of it soon also, from like Turkey and stuff. So that'll be cool.
Turkey.
Dude, Zombie 2 is probably the one property besides maybe Diary of the Dead or something that I'm super interested in buying as much physical media as possible for it. International releases, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's a weird, I'm just drawn to it. We have the infamous Night of the Living Dead 25th anniversary VHS, which I know we've talked about at length before. Fantastic.
When did you get that?
This came from Publix in the mid-90s. My grandmother bought it for me. For some reason, Publix sold VHS tapes at one point, at least in my store. That's where it came from.
Is that embossed?
Bizarre. It is. It's like three-dimensional. Yep. Can you hear that?
I hear
VHS
it. I
tapes.
love it, dude.
No white mold. Good stuff.
Amazing. Amazing.
The infamous Good Time or Video Treasure releases of Day and Dawn. Obviously, we talked about this last time too. Love Video Treasures in the 90s was pretty damn good. Obviously, these are from Anchor Bay as well. Anchor Bay owned Video Treasures, correct? Or other way around?
I don't know. I think Video Treasures manufactured the tapes and they were done in SLP mode, which means that they're... I think the SLP mode Video Treasures was like a budget production facility of tapes. So their quality, like when you saw that on the back of a tape, you knew the quality wasn't going to be as good. Because Brandon, if you grab an original VHS tape from like the early 80s of like a movie, that tape is heavy as shit. The video treasures tapes are very light. You know?
Yeah. They're almost as light as the Good Times tapes, dude.
Oh God, the Good Times tapes.
Dude, I want a t-shirt with that logo on. I love that shit.
We can make it
and
happen.
Last but not least, as far as the zombies go, the VHS tape, the zombie, the clamshell. Infamous.
Such a nice VHS tape.
So good, dude. Got this in
it has reversible art that you just learned about.
That I just learned about last time. Blows my mind, dude. Blows my mind. Okay, so that's it for the zombie ones. You guys have seen that before. The next thing I'll move on to, you know what? Let's go through real fast. Let's go through my home brews that I still have after all these years, real quick.
See, this is what I was hoping you were gonna have. This is the most exciting.
I have more of these on the shelf, but these are the only like really horror centric ones that I still have. So this is I'm not sure why I doodled on it like this. The label. This is Funhouse. Toby Hooper's Funhouse on VHS tape, recorded in probably 95 or 96. So that's how old this is. No label on the front.
So Brandon, what's interesting to me is, hold on, let me see that. Let me see that. I forgot there was a tape company, Scotch Tape, made VHS tapes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me that fucking Polaroid made homebrew VHSs that you could use to record. Tell me I'm not.
I think Polaroid did. Polaroid did. JVC did. Kodak did. There's a lot of them.
Kodak had VHS tapes, burnt
Kodak did.
Whatever, recordable VHS tapes.
Yeah, their tapes were always in like the pink 90s neon coloring. Yeah, like in 5-packs at Walmart.
Do you have commercials on Funhouse?
No, that's straight up just it was a blank VHS tape, and I recorded it from the VHS tape from Videoland. So no commercials on that one.
You had the double tape set up?
When I visited my grandma's house on weekends, she had the double stack. So it was easy for me to do it. Like, Anna, let me have a tape. Okay.
Was grandma selling tapes on the black market?
I wish, dude. Maybe that's where all the money came from. I have no idea.
Oh,
RCA was the other big one that we're thinking of too. RCA had a shit ton of tapes.
Dude, look Brandon, hold on. Tell me the art on the front of that RCA cover is so fucking early 90s. Look at that with like the digital lines and everything.
It's like the Lawnmower Man. That's what it is.
Don't you love that?
Yeah.
What's the date? What's the date on the back of that? Look at the date. Look at the production date on that box. I'm gonna say 91.
This one actually says, there's no date on there. There's an address, 2000 Clemens Bridge Road, New Jersey. I don't see a date on the actual
There's not like a date, like a copyright date?
I don't see a date anywhere. Nope, I don't see a date anywhere. Bizarre. But I know it's from it's probably from, because they would buy, because they did the same thing with tapes. I think everybody did back then with a double-decker. They bought like packs of 20, 25 tapes at a time. So if I'm recording this in 95, 96, this probably is from 91, 92, right? So
right.
Anyways, the next one on the list is Zombie 2. This was actually recorded from the video rental version of Zombie 2 that I told you about earlier. This is actually this version. So that's how old this is.
Now hold on. Time out.
Zombie 2,
Time out.
Yeah.
Is that VHS burn? I say burn, you know what I mean? Is that VHS burn from that actual zombie VHS from Publix that you have?
No, I got this on eBay.
Okay.
But it's the same exact version. It's not the one actually from the store. I wish it was. That would have been a total acid trip, but no, it's not the exact one, but it's the same release, you know? I recorded that.
How many miles did you put on that thing?
Dude, a lot, a ton of them. That was the VHS tape I watched until I got the clamshell from FYE. So a lot of miles on that tape. Next, I have Frankenstein recorded on here. I have no idea what version it is of Frankenstein at this point. I could not tell you which one it is.
I have no idea. Brandon, 1993 Randy Quaid Frankenstein movie. Have you seen that one? I'm wondering if that's the one you burned right there. It's pretty good.
Maybe.
It's from 1993. It stars Randy Quaid as the monster. It's a good Frankenstein. It was made for TV. I think it premiered on TNT.
Really?
It was a good Frankenstein
Wow.
movie. I have it on Laserdisc and VHS. And on the VHS, it has a little sticker. I have to show it to you. It says also contains the 30-minute short Flint Frankenstones. Like it was a Flintstones mini movie, 30-minute cartoon about Frankenstein as a Flintstones movie, which is really cool. You'd love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good movie though, man. I kind of wish that would get a Blu-ray or something because it's a hidden gem. It really is a hidden gem.
Yeah.
So
nice. Last but not least is the Simpsons Scare-a-thon. I believe this is the 1997 presentation of the Simpsons Scare. You can't really see that label, but there it is.
There it is. Halloween Simpsons Halloween Scare-a-thon. Wow.
Even from 97. It says 97 here.
Why does that writing even look like it's so 90s?
Oh, it is. That was like barely coherent. But there was also a Simpsons Scare-a-thon. I did in 94. In 94, there's another Simpsons Scare-a-thon, the first one I have. I have that recorded too. It's infamous with all the commercials and shit also. But I couldn't find it on the shelves, but I do own it. But this also has all the 97 commercials. I got to rip all this stuff, dude. And see what kind of commercials we got.
I bet the commercials are amazing.
I guarantee you that goddamn AC commercials in there like 500 times on both presentations. I'll call now. That's in there somewhere for sure.
Dude, I kind of laugh every time I see that on TikTok. It's always popping up on TikTok. Now. You said you call today. I'll call tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go through these 6 real fast because they are children's stuff.
VeggieTales.
I used to watch these all the time back in the day. No. We have the Walt Disney Cartoon Classics Halloween.
Oh, look at that, dude. Brandon, that's dynamite.
Yeah, it's old school.
Is that a heavy tape?
Pretty damn heavy. And
dude, look at that classic.
It's such a short presentation.
Is that the Fantasia Disney? The Fantasia Mickey on the front with the hat and stuff on? Yeah, that's it.
It is.
Now, Brandon, really quick. What happens on the Walt Disney Halloween cartoon classics on this? Like, what is this exactly? Obviously, it's Halloween related, but it's about Donald Duck and his kids or whatever. Is it Scrooge?
It's got 3 shorts on it. It's not Scrooge. It's what the hell's his name? Huey, Louie, and
Dewey.
I'll lose my 90s pass here in a minute.
Yeah.
Right. This one has 3 shorts, various Halloween shorts. It's got the Pluto's Judgment Day where Pluto goes to like hell and there's like all the cats there. You have the Lonesome Ghosts, which is where they're like the Ghostbusters, and then you have Trick or Treat, which is where the witches and the ducks are.
Dude,
you guys all remember these shorts, I'm assuming.
Dude, I love the artwork on that tape. I really do, and I love the fact that that white on the back turned to a nice cream color because of the fading.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying, dude? That's so cool.
Yeah, it's dynamite.
Like if I saw that at a flea market or like the place, I'd grab that for the artwork. So good.
You'd have to. Yeah, it looks great on Halloween on the shelf.
All right, what we got next?
What we got next is an old school. I love this one. I finally showed this to Isabella either last year or the year before, and she loves it. She wants to watch it every year.
On VHS?
Turner Home Entertainment on VHS. No, I showed it to her on Amazon Prime purchase download.
Okay,
digital version because I don't have this on. I don't have this on DVD yet. Only on VHS. This is the Halloween Tree. Who remembers this movie? Anybody?
I remember seeing the tape. I've never seen it though. I used to see that Blockbuster when I was a kid. I do remember that. Tell me about the Halloween Tree.
It's a Ray. There's Nana's label in the back because it stayed at her house because I think she bought it back in the day.
Wow.
It's a Ray Bradbury book. They turn into a kids movie. Hanna-Barbera, so it's very Hanna-Barbera-ish in style. That's really hard to say out loud. Jesus.
I'm going to guess the year of that, Brandon. I'm going to guess the year. 1993.
You correct. You are correct.
I could tell from the art. Dude, I know what 1993 looks like, and that's 1993.
Absolutely. Anybody out there who's seen that movie can attest to how good it is. Christian, I strongly recommend it. It's cheesy. It's not a very long movie, but it'll... No, because it's not Disney. It's Hanna-Barbera. So it might be on like Hulu or something, or Tubi. It might be on Tubi.
Dude,
it might even be on YouTube. Yeah, I bought it on Amazon a couple years ago, but I know it's on there. But this next tape is a Disney classic. My brother and I watched way back in the day. It was actually his tape, and then I just sort of fell into it. But this is Winnie the Pooh's Boo to You 2. It's not the same tape. This is sealed.
Oh my God.
I've not opened it up. I got this on eBay, but it's the same tape we had at one point.
You know what's gonna be funny, Brandon? At the end of this, I'm gonna give you my top 5 tapes you have, and it's gonna be Winnie the fucking Brandon's like, screw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. How about Winnie the Pooh, Boo to You 2?
There you go, dude. Oh yeah. You want to talk about old school?
Hold on. Let me see that. Let's get a close up. Brandon, you've got the scratched giveaway on the front still?
Yep. Dude, check it out. So save $5 when you buy 2 videos
on Instagram, Brandon. People would love to see this stuff.
I just haven't done it yet. I'm gonna get to it. You get a free Nightmare Ned CD-ROM sampler if you buy 2 of these.
What is Winnie
Nightmare
wearing?
Ned?
What is Winnie?
It's a bee costume.
He's a bee.
He's a bee.
And Tigger's a skeleton.
Tigger's a skeleton.
No, Brandon, is that a pumpkin sticker that says "new to video"?
It is.
How do you not just like stare at this tape 4 hours a day at your house?
I do pretty much. It would be great on the shelf during Halloween season. Look at those neon colors, dude.
See, Brandon, what you want me to make you do, dude, is I want you to set up a little floating shelf right there to your left, and you can have you can swap them out, have a little VHS section, and whatever the holiday.
The rotating things that just rotate the whole time. Yeah,
Winnie the Pooh just wrote. Brandon, you should post that on Instagram and be like, just checked out the scary Winnie the Pooh movie, guys. I loved it. And you post that. Dude.
But tag. You do tag. Yeah, I love it. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I got 3 more of these childish things. I will do it. I will do it. Watch me.
All right, what we got, dude?
Remind me to do it. This is the Simpsons official Trick or Treat House Halloween VHS from the late 90s, I think.
Holy shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It only has Treehouse of Horror 3 and 5. No other episodes for some reason, but it was still a really cool release to have officially. 3 is really damn good. 5 is really damn good too. So it's not bad selections. It's just weird that they chose those 2, you know? But yeah, great stuff. This is from 2000, it looks like. So
yeah, I could tell, but you could see the modern 20th century logo on the side. I could tell it's a newer tape. Very cool.
And last but not least, we have Casper, A Spirited Beginning from the late 90s. This is still sealed. We had this, obviously, as kids growing up, but I rebought it. It's sealed. Walmart, $6.96.
Wait, Brandon, is this a cartoon or is this a sequel to the?
It's a live action. It's a prequel to the Christina Ricci movie.
So
with
I see the
Steve Guttenberg.
So on the front, let me see the front again of the cassette.
Classic.
So the three brothers are in there. Is that them? Yeah. Dude,
completely different house story. Yeah, dude. This came out before. There was also one with that witch. There was a witch one that came out after this one did, but we never saw that one. But
please tell me that please tell me that you're gonna say, dude, listen, the first Casper's great, but Spirited Beginning is much better.
No. This does have some really cool like netherworld sequences in it with like an evil train ghost. And there's that Oingo Boingo, No One Lives Forever jams in this movie. That's about the only really, really cool things that happen, but very cool nonetheless.
What year did that come out? It had to be like 98, 99?
I think it was 97.
97?
Yeah, 97.
Okay.
From Saban, distributed by 20th Century Fox. So this is a flea market find. It was mint condition. I only opened it because there was holes and there was dust in it. Otherwise, I would have left it sealed. It killed me to open it because it was sealed, but got this for $1 or $2, brand new.
Okay.
Casper.
Wow, that does look clean, dude. Wow.
I actually unboxed this, so there is proof that it was sealed up. I unboxed it like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, but there it is. It's got the offers inside and everything.
No kidding. Holy shit. Now, Brandon, do you prefer those types of what is that the Land Before Time dinosaurs, or is that the other
We're back.
cartoon?
It's the We're Back. I think it's a cartoon. Maybe not. I can't recall seeing We're Back. I think they were cartoons though. So pristine.
Dude. Now that is a tape I had when I was a kid.
Dude, I wore out this damn tape back in the 90s. Not this exact one, obviously, but Casper was such a phenomenon. I'm glad you can attest to it.
Oh yeah, that was my first
movie was.
Yeah, it's so funny because as a kid, I didn't realize I was seeing people in that movie that I would grow to love years and years later, like Rodney Dangerfield and Dan Aykroyd.
Right.
But that was Dan in there, right? Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Right. Yep, with a mustache. Totally wild, dude. Totally wild.
That's funny because I was seeing that movie and I would see those guys in that movie and have no idea who they were at the time because I never saw Ghostbusters for a few years after that, and I obviously didn't get into Rodney Dangerfield until I became an adult. But like it's so like Rodney fucking Dangerfield has a cameo in Casper, you know?
Exactly. Yep. Bill Pullman. It had the guy from Monty Python.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, so I got 4 huge stacks left to get through, Christian, but I'll try to go as fast as possible. We're in the meat and potatoes now, buddy.
Well, the reality is, Brandon, the people want long videos, but I get what you're saying. I understand because it's me you got to worry about. You don't have dolls. Get the fuck out of here. $4.99. All right, so tell me where you got this.
So this is from Blockbuster. When our Blockbuster went out of, I think I got this from ours. If my memory serves me correct. I think when our Blockbuster went out of business, I think I picked this up from there. But this wasn't the first version of the VHS tape I owned as a kid. We had this already, and I'd have no idea what happened to that copy. So this is a much cleaner and more pristine version than what I had. The only drawback is there's these permanent stickers I can't really take off. And why would I want to? It adds to the prestige of it, right? That Blockbuster. It even has this on the inside.
What kind of that's a label they put on over that, right? Or is that just a kind of cheap ass label that Vestron used, like the oversized?
It says Vestron on it. I think it's theirs. It's just the Be Crying Rewind thing is so hilarious to me.
Oh yeah,
on there, you know.
Brandon, people tell me,
yeah, this is a very clean copy.
People tell me all the time. Excuse me. People will come up to me and say, "I love Reanimator, but my favorite Stuart Gordon movie is Dolls." I mean, where do you sit with that? People love Dolls.
Dolls, hands down. Dolls, hands down. Dolls is, I don't even like to call it horror all the time. Sometimes it just seems like a whimsical fairy tale with horror elements, but I guess you would have to classify it as horror, but it really seems, it sort of feels more like, and again, there's really violent stuff in Dolls, but it feels more in line with Neverending Story, Dark Crystal, Legend, Willow, that kind of stuff than it does in line with like Leatherface or something like that. You know what I mean? There's a certain whimsy to it that makes it feel more like that. And I guess that's Stuart Gordon when you really think about it, because even Reanimator had a whimsical quality to it, you know?
Yeah. What's crazy about that movie, Brandon, was Charles Band, like, I forgot where he was renting out. He was renting a space out to film movies, and he had like a slot of time where the building he was renting was going to be vacant for like a couple weeks in between shoots. And that's why, and so he told Stuart Gordon, write another movie. We're going to use it to film something else in the downtime. And that's when he's like, it was in between Reanimator and stuff. And he was just kind of like, I need to do something. And he's thought about just doing something for his kids. What would they be scared of? And it would be talking. Oh, and like that movie was made really just as like a last minute decision. And it ended up becoming, I think really possibly the fan favorite, at least in the horror community, like the fan favorite Stuart Gordon, which is just remarkable. That image of the doll holding the eyeballs, I used to see that as a kid all the time, but it would scare the shit out of me as a kid. Like it wasn't funny.
Oh, it's
like there was something about that
classic.
That freaks me out, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those images that even if people haven't seen the movie, you remember seeing this artwork in video stores.
Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff. This next one, I picked this up from a flea market, I believe, because I saw it. I'm like, I might as well just buy this. It was good. It was a good copy, no white mold, pretty good condition. The special limited edition of The Haunting from '99. Not a bad flick either. I actually saw this in theaters, dude. Not a bad flick at all.
Wow. What's that square, the red circle say?
Special limited edition includes a behind-the-scenes featurette.
Okay.
Not rated. Okay. So that's kind of cool.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah. What did you think about this movie while we're on the topic?
When I was a kid, I saw it, and the reason I got to see that at that time because it was PG-13. It scared the shit out of me. The scene where the woman's in the bed and like the ceiling and stuff starts coming in on her and stuff.
Oh yeah,
right
here.
Freaked the shit out of me. Yeah, terrified me as a kid. Watching it now, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I mean, it's one of those movies. I don't think it ages poorly. It's just you grow up, and the movie didn't.
Yeah,
the movie stayed the movie, and you grew up, and it's not as scary to you.
Did you like that TV show? What was it called? The Haunting of Hill House a couple years ago.
Sure. Yeah, I watched that.
So Netflix. This and that show are based on the same source material, which is crazy.
Really?
They're both based on the same novel. I think it was a novel.
Was that Stephen King or?
I don't think it was Stephen King. I forgot who it was, but I know I learned that piece of trivia somewhere that this and that TV show, and maybe even something else, were all based on the same source material. So it's very bizarre. And now that when I found that, I'm like, there is a lot of similarities here with the show. So,
oh, that's very interesting. Wow.
Yeah. This is a very prized possession. I got this off eBay. I used to rent this all the time as a kid. When I got this in the mail, it's lost the smell. Really pisses me off, dude, because the smell was so ripe when I got it. When I got this VHS tape in the mail and unboxed it, it smelled like. You ever been inside the home of a chain smoker who smoked in the house for like 30 years? It just has that cigarette smell. I have
family members, yeah.
Like you want to barf? This smelled like that. I was like, dude, give me 40 of these fucking things, right? You want to talk about nostalgia? Talk about Junior, aka a cut above.
Dude,
a Canadian slasher movie. Fantastic stuff.
I think I've showed this off before put that out
in passing.
I think Vinegar Syndrome put that out. I could be wrong.
If they put this out and I didn't buy it, I'm gonna kill myself because I love this movie and I have not seen it since VHS days, dude.
Brandon,
I have not seen this since the 90s.
You don't understand how much I could pop your Instagram if you just let me be your manager on Instagram, dude. Like that is fucking wicked. Read me the tagline because I can kind of read it, but I could see Freddy in there. Read me the tagline.
Okay, so first you saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then you met Freddy in Nightmare on Elm Street. Now meet Junior. ... A cut above, because the movie was released in Canada, I believe, as a cut above, and they renamed it here because I think there was another film called A Cut Above, and they didn't want to compete with it. It's one of those weird VHS tapes where you open it like this on the side.
Oh, like the old MCAs did that. Look at that. What label is that?
And this is from Prism Entertainment.
Very cool. I'm trying to see if that
when I first popped this out, I was like, did they send me the Schwarzenegger movie? I was going to be pissed. I was like, no, it's the right one. Because it looks like the same logo as the Schwarzenegger movie, dude. So, yeah, it's lost. No, it has a little bit of it. Oh, dude, yeah, it has I can smell those cigarettes. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Brandon, I may be wrong. I don't think this has a Blu-ray. Somebody in the chat, let me know if Junior actually has a Blu-ray because I want to see that. Brent, is it a good movie?
If I remember it correctly, I rented this a bunch of times and I loved it. It was a very weird, bizarre. It sort of felt like it felt really in line with the tone of Mother's Day, with the hillbilly dudes and the crazy old lady and stuff. It felt
Mother's
like that.
Day.
It felt like that a little bit. And Junior is actually a really likable character, and it's just bizarre. It's really bizarre, dude. It's crazy.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
How are you going to top that?
I'm going to go straight to this. This is from my childhood. I got this at, I believe, Walmart or Kmart. It was one of the MGM UA infamous Movie Time re-releases with the blue labels. This is from 90.
Okay.
Movie Time. I don't see a date on here of the re-release date, but it's Pumpkinhead. The re-released VHS version from the mid-90s, I believe. Infamous.
God, look at that artwork.
Infamous, dude. Yep. So good.
I'll be damned. Now I have a couple of those Movie Times, but not. I never saw that one before.
Yeah,
dude. You know what's criminal, Brandon? Brandon, how fucking iconic is the VHS artwork for Pumpkinhead, the regular one?
Yeah, where he's standing in like the forest and it's all green.
Blue.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah.
Or blue,
Dude,
yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, when Scream Factory put that on in 4K and they actually gave us the actual artwork, the VHS artwork for the slipcover, I lost my shit. I was so happy. It looks incredible. Incredible. Yeah. That's one of my favorite 80s movies of all time is Pumpkinhead, till this very day.
I know it's blasphemous, but I still prefer part 2.
Blood Wings. Dude, because Jeff Burr.
So damn good, dude.
Because Jeff Burr knows his audience, and he knows how to make movies for his audience. Rest in peace, dude. We lost him.
Yeah, that sucks.
I would trade about 1,000 different people for Jeff Burr to be with us. I love Jeff Burr, dude. He was a good guy.
He was awesome. He never really got his due. He never got his due in life, unfortunately.
No.
I hope he knows towards the end, like how much people fucking embrace Leatherface at the very end. You know what I mean?
I think he even came around to it a little bit. You know, he was just like, once he saw how much people enjoy it, he's like, all right. Because I mean, dude, do you remember on the Texas Chainsaw documentary? It might have been Family Portrait. I can't remember. One of those Texas Chainsaw documentaries where they talk about all the sequels, and Jeff Burr's talking.
I think it was Shocking Truth, right?
Yeah, Shocking Truth. And Jeff Burr's talking about when he called. It might have been somebody at New Line. It could have even been Bob Shea. And he was so fed up by the end. He's like, I want my name off the fucking movie. Take my name off.
Take me off the fucking movie. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Bob Shea. I'm just gonna say this right now. Bob Shea is an icon, Brandon. He's a legend. I mean, he really is the reason we have Freddy at the end of the day, because nobody else gave Wes a chance except Bob. But what jackass buys Texas Chainsaw Massacre and then tells the director, oh, we can't have a bunch of gore in this. Dude.
I hear you. Yeah.
But what makes even less sense is how a few years, I guess he learned his lesson, because it was like, okay, we can try to be cheap and make him cut all this shit out and reshoot stuff, or we can just let them film Jason Goes to Hell the way they want and not make them reshoot shit and then just put it out unrated when it comes on a home video. It's like he figured it out, but poor Jeff Burr had to be the guinea pig for that fiasco of a time in New Line. So I don't know, dude. Yeah, just rest in peace, Jeff Burr. I love Leatherface Part 3, dude. Always have, always will.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Alrighty. So next on the list, we have I just want to go watch Leatherface, dude. Next on the list is the infamous. I've had this one since I was a kid, but I can't tell you where I got it. It might have come from Videoland when they closed down, but this is the I'm assuming it's the original it's 1987 home video release. So it's not probably the original run, but it's Creepshow on VHS.
Classic artwork.
Pretty good quality. Yeah, pretty good quality. I think I prefer the theater artwork of the sequel over this one, but this is still probably way more iconic to the masses. There it is. I'm not sure if these are. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are yellowed because of time or if they're supposed to be white, but this is a heavy VHS, dude. It's old school.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the old tapes, man, they were heavy as a tank.
Yep.
Look at that, dude.
This is very cool. I love it.
Yeah. Classic. You got Creepshow too?
I don't. Unfortunately, I do not have that on VHS tape, and I like that way better than part 1. So it's kind of weird, but yeah. This next one, I didn't get the 4K because I'm an idiot. I slept on it. I need to go back and buy the 4K of this movie. This is from Videoland. Yeah, from Videoland.
Dude.
She gave the owner, Cheryl, she gave this to me.
Best fucking lenticular slip, excuse me, best lenticular VHS cover of all time. Better than Jack Frost, and it's not even close. I can't stand it when people say Jack Frost is better than the Uncle Sam one. Dude, that is the best. Brandon,
it's hard.
Uncle Sam laughs. That came out in 96, right? Is it 95 or 96?
I think so, yeah. It says 96 on the back.
Brandon, Uncle Sam laughs in the face of Scream. people can say what they want, Brandon. Oh, 1996 is an important year for horror. Yeah, because of Uncle fucking Sam. One of the greatest 90s slashers ever made.
You know what's even cooler about this release is this is a screener. That's why Cheryl from Videoland gave it to me, because when they were done screening it and buying their copies, I just got the screener afterwards for screening purposes only.
The screener? They would just kind of
so
play
basically,
it like in the
like
video companies would send. They would have 7 TVs stacked on top of each other in the corner, and they would be playing it and all.
No, I'm pretty sure these were used. They would send a copy to the video store, and I think they could play them if they wanted to. But these are mostly I think they were to check them out and see if you want to order copies to then rent out.
Yeah.
So if you buy 4 copies of Uncle Sam, you'll get a 5th and 6th one for free for your video store or whatever. That's what I think the purpose was first and foremost. But I think they were also to show on TVs. But yeah.
Badass.
Cool stuff.
You need to get a case for that one.
I do. I really do. This is the aforementioned gem from the flea market that I found somehow sealed. I think I got it for $1. Okay. I can't tell if there's white mold. There's probably not because it's not opened, but this is Death Becomes Her. Sealed VHS, the original run. Heavy. This is heavy. And this is from the early 90s, and it's still heavy.
Brandon.
This is from, yeah.
If I told you that's in my top 5 Bruce Willis movies, would you laugh at me, or would you say it's your favorite of all time?
If we're talking Bruce Willis movies, this is probably my favorite one. Besides the Die Hard movies, besides stuff like Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis, listen, this is going to sound stupid, but the scene where the dogs are chasing him through the hallway and they bite his ass and he's screaming like a woman, I laugh my ass off at that scene every time. That's worth saying it's probably my favorite Bruce Willis movie. And he's so non-Bruce Willis in this film too. It's bizarre.
So let me ask you this.
Because he's comedic.
Are you a Meryl Streep guy or a Goldie Hawn guy?
Both. When I was a kid, it was both. Meryl Streep mostly for She-Devil. That was really where when I think of Meryl Streep, I still think of She-Devil first. You know what I mean? And when I think of Goldie Hawn, I still think of Overboard first. So there was both. Probably more Goldie Hawn because she was funnier. Stuff like House Guest, Saving Private Benjamin, I think was the name of the movie.
Yeah.
She was in Foul Play, right?
Play with Chevy.
So all that stuff, dude. Probably more so a Goldie Hawn than Meryl Streep fan.
They did have Scream Factory put that movie out, and they did a good job on that. But yeah, I have it. That was such a fun movie. Like, that is such a fun, comfortable movie to watch, dude.
It is. It is.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Great stuff. The next one I have, this is not one I owned. This is from the flea market, I believe. It's The Crow. The original run. I did have the big box DVD of this when it first came out. I got it from Walmart, but I sold it to Declutter, so I don't have it anymore. But it was one of those really thick, double wide DVD releases from the old days.
Right.
But yeah, good stuff, dude. No white mold.
It's an interesting. Yeah, very, very nice. Very, very nice. What we got next?
Next up is Haunted Honeymoon, which I found at the flea market of all places.
Is that Gene Wilder?
And it was like, it is. Yep.
Okay, hold on. This artwork is fucking incredible, and I've never heard of this movie. When did this come out?
So,
what is it about?
This came out, let me see here. The original release
Gene,
was... Dude. Yeah, it's a good movie. I've only seen it once, and I confused it with something else. I don't see a date on here when it actually came out. That's weird. HBO Canon Video. That's bizarre.
Yeah, that was that's who put out Return of the Living Dead on VHS back in the day. Let me Google it. Haunted Honeymoon, see when it came out. Why am I using my phone? I have a goddamn computer with 2 screens.
There you go.
All right.
Featuring Gene Wilder, Gilda Radner, and Dom DeLuise. So the reason I bought this, and I had seen this as a kid, but the movie I thought it was High Spirits. It's sort of the same kind of plot. High Spirits has Steve Guttenberg in it. and it's sort of the same plot, a haunted hotel / castle thing, weird stuff going on. But that's what I thought this was when I bought it. So I'm still glad I bought it. 1986. That sounds about right. So yeah.
What if it's got a Blu-ray? Who put the Blu-ray out? Hold on. Brandon, I've got to get this.
You should get High Spirits instead.
Kino Lorber put
High
this
Spirits
out.
is more fun. Really? When?
Probably a couple years ago. Dude, I'm buying that. I've
so much better.
Yeah, but it's Gene Wilder.
Oh, I know. He's good. He's good in it for sure.
That's a great looking VHS cover too. Very classic.
Isn't it?
I love
Very
it.
classic.
God, dude, look how cool that is.
Be a great one sheet to have on the wall.
All right, what we got next?
Okay, dude. We have 3 stacks left. That was the first of 4. How are we doing on time?
We're doing
so
good.
These, I got these from eBay. These are sealed. I'm not going to unseal them because there's no point. But the first one is the Addams Family on a sealed VHS.
With the little giveaway thing down there. God, it's so cool.
Video rebate on there. Yep. And it has it says here, also in theaters everywhere this holiday season, Addams Family Values and Wayne's World 2. And the reason that was there is because this is the release that came out the year Addams Family Values came out, because there was a McDonald's re-release, and there's the McDonald's icon right there.
Oh,
it showcased
man.
that it was from McDonald's.
That's so fucking awesome.
I can't believe McDonald's sold movies at one point. That's so bizarre, dude.
I'll have a Big Mac with a large fry. Give me an apple pie with a Addams Family Values VHS.
Yeah, exactly. Like, was there grease on it or anything? Like, come on.
Do you think anybody actually bought a movie in the drive-thru?
Oh, that would be so cool.
Imagine getting a movie in the drive-thru.
Like, do they put it in the bag with the food? Like, how do they hand it to you? That's what I want to know. Like, did anybody ever drop it or anything? Like, come on. And then we obviously have Addams Family Values sealed. So
$14.99, $95
stuff. Yep.
Very cool. Is that a Walmart label?
I can't really tell. There's no store on it, but the barcode looks like it's from either Walmart or Kmart.
It looks like Walmart to me.
Good stuff.
Very nice, dude. Very, very cool. Wrapped.
These 2 movies are definitely, if I'm stuck on an island with 5 movies, these are 2 of the 5 for sure. Endless rewatchability.
Hell yeah.
Just like Wayne's World 1 and 2. I got this infamous MPI home video release of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think this is what we all owned at one point in the 90s, this re-release.
That's a good one. That was the extended version, or the remastered, version and all.
Yeah, restored version, uncut and unedited. Yep.
Unedited. Yeah.
Very
I have
cool.
the Laserdisc version of that as well. Yeah, it was a good release. At the time, that was like
very good release.
That was the real deal when that came out.
It was. Yep.
Very, very cool.
Great stuff.
Dude, love it.
Fantastic. And I'm happy to report that 90% of my collection is still free of white mold. I don't know how, but it is. For everybody listening who keeps asking, white mold is a situation that happens with VHS tapes if they get too hot, or if they're left out in like a garage for too long. It gets on the tape, on the magnetic tape inside, and it'll infect other VHS tapes. So if you have anything that has white mold on the film, it looks like white dirt or white specks of stuff. Isolate it from your other collection because it will infect other tapes.
Yeah, that's
you can
crazy
clean it off, but that's a process for another day. But you can clean it, but get it the hell away from your other stuff.
It's like a virus.
Matter of fact, I won't show it off, but my what is that movie called? Damn it, the Serpent and the Rainbow VHS tape that I have.
Wes Craven, yeah.
And I have it segregated right now in a cubby down there. I'm not going to show it off because I'm not going to walk across the room and get it. It's got white mold on it, so I'm keeping it segregated. And so far, it hasn't infected anything.
Smart idea.
Anyways, the good times, or the movie time.
I remember that one.
Texas Chainsaw 2. Such a random artwork to put on this. When I saw this in Kmart, I was like, what the hell? But yeah, great stuff. I think everybody had this in the 90s, this release too.
I did.
Pretty good you know, yeah, good stuff. Good times. Good stuff, good times. Stack number 2, Christian. You ready?
I'm ready.
As a Jason guy, I'm embarrassed to say that the only Friday the 13th movie I have left on VHS, not ashamed, but it's the only one I got left, is Part 8 on VHS tape. Yep, I don't have anything else on VHS right now.
Bro.
This is the Paramount release. The back, pristine quality.
You don't have Jason Goes to Hell on VHS?
I don't. I did. I had a lot of them, but I think most of them went to my brother, unfortunately. This sort of got lost in the shuffle.
Dude,
the cool thing about this, dude.
The picture on the back of Jason Goes to Hell is amazing.
The Jason Goes to Hell VHS tape has always been such a pristine, prestigious looking thing. The cool story about this, though, is through Videoland. This is before we had FYE or Camelot, and Walmart and Kmart didn't sell everything you wanted, right? Especially these kind of tapes all the time. So Videoland, what they would do is allow me to go in there with like 20 or 25 bucks and order these movies through their catalog. So I actually got this, Part 7, Part 6, Part 5, maybe even Jason Goes to Hell through Videoland's order catalog. So they ordered the movie for me. I paid for them, and it came in the mail, and I got to pick it up from Videoland. So I actually went to Videoland one day and picked this up after ordering it. That's how cool of a fucking story this has, dude.
Brandon, you need to get Part 1.
There you go.
Look at that artwork, dude.
I know.
I love the Friday the 13th VHS tapes, dude. Just simple. Got the logo on the side. Oh, yeah. The best. The best. Okay.
Do you like the Friday Part 2? I'm going to ask you anyway. The Part 2 logo is better, right? With just the blue outline and the X.
I mean,
like, don't you think there's something really catchy about that?
It's catchy, yes, but hold on. The metaphor of the kids in the camp being inside the silhouette of Mrs. Voorhees, it's like she's got you guys. You can't escape her. Like the metaphor of this, I think, is just amazing. I think this is one of the greatest horror posters ever made, in my opinion. The first Friday the 13th.
It is iconic.
As well as Jason Takes Manhattan.
Manhattan. Yes, you're right. Exactly.
Manhattan.
Perfect. All right, dude. Next on my list is the only nightmare film I have on VHS, unfortunately, is Nightmare 2 on a clamshell.
Well, that's the best. See, that's the only time media actually did different art for the movies besides the theatrical poster. No, that's not true. They changed it for Part 5 as well.
And then also, Texas Chainsaw Massacre had that really cool with the eyes painting. That was different. Yep.
Uncut.
I love the Dream Child VHS, dude. That's so good. Is that sealed too? Have you opened that, or is that? Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. This is just a wrap. My buddy Gabe sent me this. Brandon. So when this came out, they promoted Part 5 on VHS big time in the videos. This was '89. This was probably the height of all of that. I've gotten the original video store poster for Part 5 in here, which is this. And I've got my VHS. I got my lasers. Dude, the imagery for Part 5, I think people sleep on Part 5's like promotional stuff. They really like it. Really is so fucking 80s and incredible. I love the promotion and the imagery for Part 5. Just so very much.
Do you have the giant cardboard stand up of him with the cradle?
No, I have 4.
If not, you need to find that shit, dude. I think that exists somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's possible to get it. The problem with Part 5s is it is fucking huge.
Yeah. I'm sure it's expensive.
I mean, Part 4 is great, but it's big. Part 2 is perfect. I can get it it's in my corner over here, and I can stand up, and it's not in too much of the way. But dude, the Part 5 baby carriage is massive. I mean, it would take up so much room wherever you put it. You
just got to buy it. You got to buy it, man.
I want
you could buy it, set it up, and then flatten it back out and put it in storage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these two, we'll go straight to Halloween 2 on VHS. I've shown these out before.
Whoa. Look at that.
Yeah.
One's red and one's orange.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Here's an actual version. It was turned into a clamshell by whatever rental place this was. This is the original, I think, 1981 VHS release. I think. I'm pretty sure this is actually the original release of this on VHS.
Brandon, do you agree that the skull is more iconic than the jack-o'-lantern with the knife from part 1?
Absolutely, it is. It is absolutely
you like the skull
iconic.
pumpkin. Dude, why is it so fucking creepy, haunting, yet like badass? It's like everything. It's everything right about Halloween. That's why I got it, dude. Like I got this one first. I love this one, but dude, that's where it's at right there. I had to get the jack.
Oh, dude, yeah, look
at
the
skull. I had to get that.
There you go.
Fucking iconic, awesome. Dude.
So what's weird about this release is I think this is the 81 or 82 release, so it's original. But the VHS tape inside says 83 on it. So I think there might have been some kind of people playing with me when they sold me this. I'm not really sure if this tape belongs in this clamshell.
What's the back? What's the date on the back of the clamshell say?
The clamshell says 81, but I'm not sure if it actually came out in 81 or if the original VHS tape came out in 82. I think 82 was the street date.
That would make VHS sense. Release. Yeah, that would make sense considering
this tape. I know it was released several times though, and 83 is what it says on this tape. So I don't think this tape belongs in this clamshell.
You may be right.
It's a small detail, but it bothers me. And here's the other weird thing about it. So this
what about the other
tape
tape?
You saw,
yeah.
I thought I was getting the same thing, just double dipping. When this came in the mail, and I didn't notice it right away, and you probably can't see it. The text and the imagery is all pixelated, like it was printed off a computer. And the front is as well. And the logo is as well. See how it's like pixelated looking?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. This is a bootleg printed label. It's not real. The VHS tape inside is real. It's real, and the tape inside says 82. Where is it at?
Well, dude,
so I think this is actually...
Swap the tape.
I'm going to switch them. I'm going to swap them. But it gives me such a cool story to tell. It gives me a cool story to tell. I'm not going to switch them. Put them back as they were so I can bitch about it next time. But that pisses me off a little bit. You know, like this is expensive through eBay. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break.
I bet. No, I bet.
And I got no money back because I waited too long to make a stink about it because I didn't notice it until like 90 days later. You know what I mean?
That's totally on brand for you.
And in their defense, the guy was totally cool about it and was like, you know, I didn't know I bought it from somebody else. I'm like, I believe you, dude. I'm sure you were not the first owner of these fucking tapes. So anyways, moving on to the infamous Blockbuster exclusive trilogy.
I have that.
The Halloween trilogy. So good, dude. Iconic.
I love the sci-fi green Halloween 2 logo on the spine.
Yeah, it's so fun. These are all sealed too, which is really cool. This is the Good Times tape that I got from Walmart in the mid-90s. So it's weird that they incorporated it into this box set. But there's that logo we were talking about. Love it.
Good Times.
But sealed. Totally sealed. Halloween 3 is totally sealed. I also got this from Walmart. The same release. Good Times as well.
But tell me that's the one time Good Times truly got it. Tell me that's one time Good Times truly got it right with the redesign artwork for part 3.
Did you like this better than the original logo with them like in the silhouette?
I like it as much.
This at the bottom.
Not better. I like it as much.
With like the rays coming out and stuff and like the glowing eyes.
Yeah, those kids on the front, man, that shit's like something very haunting about that. I like it as much as the actual
Photoshop
part
of these, dude.
Part 2 looks like shit, and don't they spell Jamie Lee Curtis wrong? I think they spelled Jamie Lee Curtis wrong.
Do they really? They do spell it wrong. Look at that. Jame. Dude, that's classic. There's that old school font you never see anywhere anymore.
But Brandon, the green eyes and the pumpkin is pretty fucking rad on the part 2.
Oh, by now it's iconic in its own way, right? These Good Time things. I want one sheet of these, dude. That's what I want.
Imagine if they would have ditched the floating heads on part 2, Brandon. They would have just raised the pumpkin up to be centered on the VHS case. Like, that's all you need. Like, get rid of the floating heads, put the pumpkin. That would have been badass. But the Blockbuster Presents is great.
Space here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is iconic. This is actually the first version I owned. Yeah, back in the day. Obviously not this one because I had opened it, but That was my
that
introduction
reminds
to
me.
the original film.
That reminds me. I wanted this tape for so long, but I refused to buy VHS tapes on eBay just for my own weird reasons. I finally found this when I went to this flea market a while back. I've always wanted this one.
Oh, nice. Look at that shit. I forgot about that, man. I forgot all about that. I don't remember the logo looking like that on that release, though.
I love it.
That's classic.
Yeah.
That's classic. Here's my opened version of Halloween 3 that I had from Good Times in the 90s. So this is actually from back in the day. I love the way the logo looks on that.
Yeah. I don't remember if it's on the Good Times version or if it's on what version, maybe an old VHS or something. I don't remember, and I could even be making something up. There are Halloween people that know these movies chapter and verse, so maybe they could dispel it. Somebody was telling me years ago there's a certain VHS release of the movie where when the suit guy is walking through the hospital when it's real quiet in there to go kill Mr. Grimbridge, there's a voice that goes over the intercom that's only like somebody's talking over the intercom, like a male voice. It might have been a male or female voice, but there's a voice that plays the intercom in the hospital just talking like, patient blah, room 304, blah. Like somebody was telling me about that, and they were like, but it's only on this release. This was years ago. Does that ring a bell to you at all, or is this the first time you're hearing this?
That rings a bell and sounds familiar. I've never heard this issue before, but that the thing you're talking about sounds familiar, but I can't vouch for it because I haven't watched these VHS tape releases in so long. I would have to put it in the VHS tape player and find out. So that'd be interesting. That's a video in itself right there, dude.
I think it is.
Next, the CBS Fox release of Halloween 4, the original street date release of Halloween 4 on VHS. Very stoked to have this. This is like an iconic back cover of VHS for me. This shot right here, especially of Myers.
Yeah, it's even cooler on the Laserdisc because it's the same thing, just blown up, and you get the full image on the Laserdisc, Brandon. You get the whole house. You see how it's got to be cut off on the VHS. On the Laserdisc, you get everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm jelly of that. I'm jelly of. Do you have the Laserdisc of part 5 too?
I have every Halloween that you could have on Laserdisc. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I have 1 through H2O.
These are such heavy tapes, dude. 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Heavy.
Look how, Brandon, I know this is going to be like a nerdy thing. Look how thick the logo is for Halloween 5 on the spine. Like they really filled up the spines of those tapes, dude.
Oh,
they shoved that big ass CBS Fox on there too. They even shoved Michael's mask on there.
And the Nicolas Cage mask. Like you're not going to miss this on a shelf. That's why. So
yeah,
iconic.
Well, compare it to the 4. Compare it to the 4 for everybody.
Part 4, you're going to absolutely miss on shelves. You know, it's just
that looks like shit. I don't even like that.
The re-released VHS tape though does have the bigger Halloween 4 font on it compared to the text.
Do you have the Halloween 4 VHS tape where it's Michael against that mirror?
I don't.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about the clamshell. I did not have it. I had it, I think, at one point, but I don't have it anymore. What happened to it, I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure I had that clamshell. So
you sold it for cryptocurrency?
I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I'm pissed off. And then here we have the original VHS release of Halloween 6.
That is an iconic image. The fact that the theatrical posters took the girl out of the knife, I mean, it really pisses me off. I love the girl in the knife on the front. I love that. Why does a theatrical poster scrub her out? Officially, it's scrubbed out on the theatrical.
Does it?
Dude, it really pisses me off how they take... I even think on all the 4Ks and stuff from Scream Factory, they even scrub her out. I could be wrong. I know on the VHS, I always said, tell me I'm right. I'm right. Her being in the knife is awesome. I hate the fact that they scrub her out of all the other shit. I hate that.
Yeah. What's cool about this poster, besides his freaky ass mask there front and center in the blue with the orange text, is a lot of people always complained that why is his hand and the knife so small? I'm like, because it's not Michael's hand, it's the Man in Black's hand superimposed on top of Michael's mask. It's not Michael Myers doing this with the knife. It's the Man in Black holding the knife in the movie when he says, Danny, kill for him.
I never, ever, 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 ever paid attention to it that much. You are
see the black glove?
You are literally waking me up to this right now.
That's
so
why.
Brandon, hold on.
That's because think about the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, look at the scale of the knife. Look how small that would be next to his face. It's like he's holding a little damn cheese knife. So, and the black leather glove, that's that shot where Danny sees him in the closet like this, saying "kill for him." That's that shot,
right?
And they superimposed the painting of the girl in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab. Well, see, that's how. Yeah, and that's how that was on the VHS release and everything. They took it off on the latter releases. I'm gonna go grab my 4K real quick, and we're gonna do a reveal to see if they actually kept her in or not, because I don't remember. We're gonna figure. Oh, right. You're gonna fucking love this, Brandon. Watch this. I'm gonna pull my box out. You're gonna watch this. I haven't posted this video yet as the time of this recording, but you're about to see something that you're gonna think is cool. Hold on.
All right.
All right, so here's my Halloween 4K box set. Do you notice anything pretty cool about these?
They look like beefier. Oh, they're like VHS style, huh?
Those are VHS slips.
That's cool.
So let me pull out. Yeah, these are custom. And if I haven't posted the action, I'll have that. I have to have that video out. I'm gonna post that video Monday. All right, Brandon. So here's the custom slip for the Halloween 6 4K. On the custom slip, you can see that my boy put the girl on there. All right. Here's your favorite artwork of all time. All right, let's pull out the disc and see if she's on there or not. You ready? Because I don't remember. Here's the reveal.
Ready.
She's scrubbed.
Oh, she's not. Wow.
She's scrubbed out. So, dude.
Why, though?
The VHS release, as far as I know, the VHS and the Laserdisc release, which I have the Laserdisc release for 6, are the only ones that have her in the knife. And now it's a nerdy thing, Brandon, but I love it, and I can't stand how they took her out. Also, the spine of that one is a 9 out of 10. The part 5 is a 10 out of 10, but the spine on that one is a 9 out of 10. The orange is a little bit more orange than the rest.
It's like neon
There's
orange.
something so fucking. There's something. No movie feels like fall the way Halloween 6 does, and I will literally fight till the death about that.
Yep. No lies detected there, buddy. No lies detected.
I don't give up. You can shit on the movie all you want. You can shit on it all you want. You will not tell me that any movie feels more like fall than part 6. You won't do it.
No, that's correct.
I refuse.
That's absolutely correct.
I refuse to accept any other answer. There's one movie that comes close,
that,
Brandon. Right? There's one movie that comes close. You want to know what movie that is?
In the Halloween series?
That comes close to feeling as close to in the Halloween series. There's one movie that comes close to feeling like Halloween.
4.
No.
It's 4 for me after Halloween 6. That's what I feel. 4 feels like Halloween. You're going to say 3, aren't you?
No, I'm actually was fucking with you. I agree. 4 does. The opening of 4 is great.
All right.
5 feels like summer. 5 feels like summer.
It does.
H2O feels like summer, considering it also came out during summer. 1 feels like Halloween for sure, but it feels like a distant Halloween that I can't really relate to in a sense. I don't know how to explain it. I love the feeling of Halloween 1. 2 feels like the season, don't get me wrong. But 4 and 6, literally, dude, Brandon, it could be February 7th, all right? And you close the doors at night, you close the blinds, you put the movie in the player, you turn it on, you would swear to fucking God it's October 3rd while you're watching the movie. That's how good those movies can transport time. It's incredible. Part 6, literally, dude, any day of the year. If you turn the lights off and shut the doors, you put that movie on, it's fucking summer. I mean, it's Halloween season. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I agree.
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I need to talk about Halloween more, dude. I kind of weirdly don't talk about Halloween because I don't want to burn myself out on it. But the fact is, Brandon, I'm a big fan. Like, I don't want to act like I'm not a fan. I am a fan. But like, I feel like I force myself to not talk about it because I don't want to burn myself out. Plus, people complain sometimes when if I talk. Actually, people complain if I talk about Friday the 13th too much. But anyway, continue, Brandon. I'm sorry.
People complain about everything. Anyways, the next VHS tape, this is from the flea market. It's pretty much in pristine quality. It's the Christopher Lee Scars of Dracula on VHS.
Oh,
I'm not sure what release this is. Yeah. I'm not sure. This is from 94, this release. So it's a pretty cool release.
You know, 3 stars isn't really that great of a rating to have on the front cover of a VHS tape.
Yeah, 3 stars by Leonard Maltin. Good fang work.
Wait up, Leonard Maltin reviewed it? That's Spock. That's Spock.
Yeah, oh, is it? No way.
That's Spock from Star Trek.
Isn't that Leonard Nimoy Spock?
Oh, okay, Leonard Nimoy. What am I? Leonard Maltin. I thought Spock was reviewing horror movies.
Dude, that would be awesome, though. This also came from the flea market. It's the Cujo VHS tape, and pretty damn good quality.
Classic cover.
Yeah,
that's underrated.
I love the spine
in my opinion.
Cujo, yeah,
I think that movie's really good.
There's no label on it at all, so
that is badass.
You can tell it's Cujo. The print says Cujo, so I don't know what happened to the label, but there it is. Moving on to 93's Judgment Night, the release from Good Times. Fantastic movie. I almost didn't include it here because it's not horror per se, but it has horror elements to me, so I included it. Great thriller suspense movie for those who haven't seen it. Fantastic stuff. Proves Dennis Leary would have been a great Joker if he wanted to be. Fantastic, stressful, anxiety-riddled movie. Christian, have you seen it?
I have not, dude. Tell me, what's the plot?
Great fucking soundtrack, too. A few guys, including Emilio Estevez, they go on they're headed to a sports game. I think it's either baseball or I think it's a baseball game in the city. They take a wrong turn, end up in a really bad part of town that they're not familiar with. They witness a murder, and then the murderers come after them, and it's a cat and mouse chase. People are getting thrown off roofs, shot up, chased through sewers. It's great. And Dennis Leary has a monologue in one of the scenes, and it's fucking really intense and stressful. Like, he's a really good villain. Believable, too. He would have been a great fucking Joker, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
Very
Judgment
cool.
Night, 9.5 out of 10.
I'll have to check that out.
This is from Videoland. When they closed, I bought it. This is what I rented as a kid all the time from Videoland. It's the My Pet Monster, the live-action video cassette, the My Pet Monster movie, basically.
Dude, that is so fucking faded.
It's really faded. This is in the kids section, and it sort of faced the big windows all the time, so I'm assuming that's why it's so faded.
Dude, that is
it's got history, man. And it says $1 because Videoland was notorious for everything was $1 rental as long as you returned it the next day. That's how it worked.
Now, Brandon, why does the spine in the back look 7 times as better as the front? Look at the back.
I think because
dude, look at this.
Because this on shelves.
There's color. There's color on the sides. Like that thing must have been facing out of a window.
Yeah, it was. It was on the kids section. And it was on those grading. Like everything there was on grading shelves. So you could sort of. It was like the wire, like the white wire stuff. If I'm making any sense here.
Yeah.
And it sort of. It sat on the shelf like this.
So
I think it was facing the window of the kids section.
Dude,
all the time. All the time.
The sun beat that tape's ass, dude. It's
all the time,
black
dude.
and white.
All the time. Yep.
Let me see the side.
And
look at that, dude. Look how rich the color is on that compared to the and the back is the best part, dude. Look at the back.
Yep.
I have My Pet Monster still.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Mine's in kind of rough shape.
My uncle had one as a kid.
Yeah. Dude, you got to show your kid that one.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
Dude, I want to spoil it for the whole audience if you don't mind. I have to spoiler alert.
I'm waiting for the 4K.
This movie gave every kid blue balls as far as sequel bait goes, because this movie ends with a setup for a sequel that never came. I think there was a big YouTuber covered this a couple of years ago because he shares in our pain. But do you remember the cartoon by chance? The My Pet Monster cartoon from the 90s or late 80s?
I just remember remember the actual toy.
Well, there was a toy also. There was another monster that came that was alongside him. It was a big evil looking monster. that was available with him. And he was the villain in the cartoon. And this sort of. And at the end of the movie, you see the old guy. It's the dude who plays the old guy in Haunted Mask, who's the shopkeeper, that same actor.
Oh, wow.
The sequel opens it up for him to turn into the big bad guy in the sequel, and it never happens. And it's so, dude, you want an acid trip, Christian? Go watch this movie. It's going to flip your lunch tray, I promise.
Damn.
I'm having a fucking nostalgic overload right now.
Hell yeah.
House of Frankenstein, my favorite Frankenstein movie, believe it or not.
Oh, dude.
On VHS.
And that was during the big Universal, they were pushing those tapes big. The promote, you can go online and watch the commercials for it.
Yeah.
That logo is everything, dude.
Yep. This was 92. Huge push for it.
I love it.
Great
Fantastic.
stuff. I have this. This is a full-length screening copy, also from Videoland, as a promo screener of Watchers 3. Look at that.
I haven't seen this. That is creepy looking.
Absolute crackhead movie. Has nothing to do with the first two films, obviously. Yep.
It's Dean Koontz, the writer?
Copy.
Oh my God.
See, look right here. Check this out. Buy two, get one free.
Wow.
To rent out at your video store kind of thing.
94?
This was 94. How the hell did you know that?
I saw it on the back by the tape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on the back end.
Good stuff.
That's cool, dude. How do you get that? Do you got that? You say you got a flea market?
No, Videoland. She gave me this screener as well. I got a ton of screeners from there. A ton of
That's
screeners.
Cool.
I had a screener of do you remember a movie called The Progeny from the 90s? I had that screener. I had Demon Keeper.
All kinds of shit. The Prophecy or The Progeny?
The Progeny. It was about it had the guy from The Mummy in it, Arnold Vosloo, and his wife gets pregnant with like an alien baby. It's called The Progeny.
What? That does sound familiar.
Weird fucking movie, but yeah. Yeah. Another Publix buy. My grandmother bought me this from Publix in the 90s, before the Night of the Living Dead release. Day of the Triffids. Publix sold this for some reason. I've never seen the whole thing. It is a horror movie.
What the hell is a Triffid?
It's about like killer plants or something. But I only saw like the first 20 minutes and it was bizarre, but I got bored and turned it off. Never went back to it 35 years later. But here we are. Day of the Triffids. Near mint condition. Hollywood favorites. So
I'll be damned.
Yeah, there's an oddity for you. This is the 91 release. I'm assuming the original VHS tape release of Nothing But Trouble, which I consider to be a horror movie through and through. Absolutely.
That just looks right.
And
we've
talked at length about this before, doesn't it? Look at the label, dude.
Is that a heavy tape?
Not as heavy as the other ones. It's kind of lightweight. Not as lightweight as Good Times or Video Treasures, but it's not heavy. It's not heavy. But good stuff. I still think it should have just been called Vulcanvania and leave it at that, but I get it. But great release.
Classic.
So here we are with one of the scariest movies. That scene still blows my mind in that movie. Dude. No, now I just want some fucking hot Hawaiian punch, dude. Anyways,
out of a can. Out of a can.
Yeah, exactly. He punctures the thing. Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it.
Go ahead.
Get yourself a dog. Get yourself a dog. This movie, I'm still afraid of the fucking woods because of this movie, first and foremost, dude. A sealed copy of the 99 release of Blair Witch Project includes newly discovered footage.
Oh, wow.
Unopened. Sealed. It sort of looks wonky, but it's sealed.
What's the new footage that comes with that? That's not the documentary.
I don't recall.
Sticks and Stones. That's on its own separate release.
Yeah, I don't recall what it is on here. It doesn't say on the tape. I remember renting this back in the day and there being something on it. I think it's like a short feature or something, but I couldn't tell you if there's extra footage or not.
Yeah, I've got that on Laserdisc, man. That was one of the last movies to come out on Laserdisc was Blair Witch Project.
Really?
So yeah, one of the very last.
Nice. Do you have Book of Shadows on Laserdisc, or was it done by that point?
No, 99 in America was
sweet.
Yeah,
that.
And 99 was like the last year for America on Laserdisc. After that, it hung on for about a year later in Japan. But in America, 99 was the last year, really. Like American Pie is an expensive one. Ants is an expensive Laserdisc. That was 98. And Blair Witch is a I don't know if it's expensive, but yeah, it's very, very late life. I mean, very tail end.
That's so crazy.
So,
that's
yeah,
so crazy that Blair Witch and American Pie were on Laserdiscs. That blows my fucking mind.
Yep.
That's so bizarre.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on. We're almost done through the second to last stack here. This is The Terror at the Opera on VHS.
Oh, wow.
Now, when I was a kid, this is from 91, so this came out a couple years after the movie itself did. When I was a kid at Videoland, I never rented it, I don't think. I might have, because I remember seeing... So here's the deal. Let me break this down. I think I've broken this down before, but let me break it down a little bit further. When Boogeyman came out, that DVD, remember there's a segment from Opera in it. It's the scene where the chick gets shot through the door.
Yes.
That scene's on there. When I saw that on DVD, I had a flashback watching it in the early 2000s. Like, I've seen this before somewhere. And then at my buddy's house, my buddy Tom's house, in like 2007, 2008, they were watching some version of Opera. And it was that fucking scene. I walked into their house and that scene was on. I was like, holy shit, I've seen this before. And I watched the rest of the movie with them, and it totally brought me back. So I can't say for sure that I rented this from Videoland, but I obviously saw it at some point and forgot about it because it was already sort of like in my memory. The point is, though, I was looking for this release for years because I knew that it wasn't just called Opera at Videoland. It was called something else. I couldn't figure it out until I tracked this down on eBay. I was like, that's the fucking version I remember seeing on shelves, Terror at the Opera. I'm not sure if that's how it was released over here at first or what, but it's such a bizarre release.
I can't say I hate the name, but
yeah,
as a
makes
kid,
more sense, but
as a kid, if I would have read something called Terror at the Opera, I don't think I would have rented it either.
Yeah, Opera just sounds. I think it sounds. Maybe this is to appeal to the American audiences.
Of course, absolutely, it is. You know, Opera is not really a title that would draw the average American in, especially during that time.
Sorry for everybody out there for the exposition dump, but this is a big nostalgia kick for me.
Very cool.
That specific thing.
I wish you had Creepers.
Creepers. Oh yeah, iconic VHS artwork.
Phenomenal. I wish.
Yeah, with the chick's face all. Yeah, I don't have that. Matter of fact, I can't even tell you that I've actually seen it. You know what I mean?
It's my favorite Argento. The Creepers cut as well is my favorite.
Yeah,
the best. That's a VHS I need to get.
There you go. Jump into the VHS game, Christian. Do it. There's your way in. The Night Shift collection.
Wow.
Which has Disciples of the Crow and the Night Waiter on it. Iconic VHS cover. I used to read this all the time. A couple short stories, really freaky short stories. Stephen King. Disciples of the Crow is what inspired Children of the Corn. Very bizarre. This came out after those movies were out, but the story is what inspired him to write Children of the Corn. So it was made after the movie, but it predated the movie in text, if that makes any sense.
I dig
freaky
that artwork.
Stories. Old school. Look at that fucking label. Bizarre.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, moving on to another flea market find.
What's
No
next?
white mold. It seems to be original release. It is Manhunter on VHS.
Michael Mann.
And apparently, it's an action adventure movie. Yep.
Masterpiece.
Pretty bad condition, but good nonetheless.
I love the soundtrack to Manhunter too. I got the vinyl for that movie.
Oh, nice. Do you prefer Manhunter over Silence of the Lambs?
Over Silence of the Lambs?
Red Dragon, sorry.
Anyone with taste would.
Really? Over Red Dragon? Because I know it's it's the same story, right?
You see, I know what I'm doing. I'm pissing off my viewers. No, some people will agree with me that they prefer Michael Mann's Miami Vice style to that movie. They actually like Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter and Manhunter. And they like the soundtrack and the 80s almost AOR synth feel to the movie. I think Manhunter's a masterpiece and for the word underrated, which is used far too often in today's society. If you're going to use that word with any movie, in my opinion, no movie fits a better description of being truly underrated than Manhunter. So yeah, I think it's a Crystal Skull movie. I really do. Fucking masterpiece. I think Brian Cox is sensational as Hannibal Lecter in that movie. Yeah. It's different, but it's very good. It's very, very good. I'm not saying it's better than Lecter. I mean, than Hopkins, Anthony Hopkins. But Brian Cox's Lecter was he was like a bastard in Manhunter. It's really, I'm sorry. Move on, Brandon. Go ahead. I love Manhunter.
You're good,
I love Manhunter.
Next up on the list is, I don't recall where I got this from, but it is Curse of the Puppet Master on VHS.
That movie's like, I sometimes like it and I sometimes don't. It just depends. But that is an iconic image.
Yeah.
By that point, Full Moon had taken over their own video distribution. They had lost the Paramount deal. Where's the cover?
I have no idea, man. I've seen that for the first time. That's hilarious. But yeah, this movie, this really marked the end of my enthusiasm for Full Moon Pictures at the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
5 was so good, and this came out. I was like, what the fuck?
That was when, like I said, they didn't have the Paramount. They didn't have the Paramount backing at that point, so shit hit the fan.
Yep. I should have thrown this next one into the kids stuff because it is a kids program, but I consider this horror property because it's so gross and so weird. This is the animated special Gross Jokes, specifically Madball's Gross Jokes from the 80s, I think 86.
God, I love that artwork so much. Holy shit. Madballs, is this like a play off of those actual toys?
Yeah, this is the same company. They had a toy line, a comic book line. They attempted to do a kid show. I think there was attempts to do a movie. There's a whole new comic book line now, whole new toys. It's a whole franchise.
I love it.
But this says volume 2 because the first volume was an animated special called Escape from Orb. And part 2 was Gross Jokes. So very old school. A lot of
baseball. Look at that baseball.
Yep, Screaming Mimi, man. Old school nonsense, dude. If not horror, then I would consider it horror adjacent because it's so bizarre.
So, Brandon, if that got announced, like, let's say Terror Vision says we're putting out a Blu-ray of Madballs Volume 1 and 2, like, would you go? Would you go banana for that?
Oh, like a huge fucking like.
So you pre-ordered? Did you pre-order the $120 bundle for Return of the Living Dead?
I did. I did. I can't. They canceled the other order too. They did.
Okay, good, dude. We have to do a show, and we can we'll do a live, and I'll make it to be on your channel as well as mine. That way you can get the views for it. Since you may as well try to get some kind of monetary return, right, from buying it in terms of ad revenue for views. So we'll do it together. But dude, we have to make that a absolute celebration show. I can't wait for that. We can mark out every single. We're gonna get that in September.
Oh, nice. Yeah, fucking A. That's awesome. Let's do it.
I'm so excited about that.
Let's do it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah, dude. On that note, I was so pissed off, and you're like, "There's a bundle," and I bought the fucking little tiny first edition for like 30 bucks.
I looked them over.
Buy this immediately.
And I looked them over, and I got the one initially that had the vinyl, the posters and the shirts. And then I kept looking at those cups, and I was like, the cassette's pretty fucking cool too, because the cassette is just the classic artwork on there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
You got to
just swallow it. It's Return of the Living Dead Part 2, man. Like, I'm gonna savor every drop of that bundle. So
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fucking sick, dude.
Go ahead.
Next on the list is another promo screener from Videoland. This is Demon Keeper from the mid to late 90s. Don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
Demon Keeper is the name of it. Very bizarre film.
That is like the artwork that I used to see as a kid. Sexy, scantily clad women, in her case, bare naked, being held by a monster. Like, that's the kind of shit I saw as a kid that would just infest my brain and make me wonder what the hell happens in these movies. And the fact that I couldn't see them as a kid made them even more disturbing to me, because I would just build up in my head what happens in them. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but seeing that just triggers memories for me. Dude, what the fuck is that thing?
I don't remember it being a great film, but it was not good either, from what I recall. I haven't seen it since the 90s when I watched this, but she gave this to me. Buy 2, get 1 free. So it's another like order tapes from us and rent them out in your video store kind of thing. But yeah, Demon Keeper from New Horizons Home Video.
What year?
94. 94, wow. It says. So straight mid-90s.
Let's see if it's got a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody talk about this movie ever since it came out. So, and I don't recognize any of these names. Maybe Maurice Smith, but I'm not really sure.
Brandon, that may be stuck on physical media. I mean, on VHS. That may be stuck on VHS.
Yeah, it might be. Nothing about it, huh?
Nothing about it. What we got next?
Damn. We're on the last stack now. The last stack. And first up, we have a clamshell. Not a true clamshell, because it's one of those things where it was a regular tape turned into a clamshell for the VHS rental store's sake.
I like that, though.
Elvira's Mistress of the Dark. So do I. Love it. It's fantastic.
Okay. This is one of the best movies of all time. I love how
like
zany it is. Haunted Hills is not bad, but damn, look at that woman. God, she is beautiful. God almighty. What I love about Mistress of the Dark is how truly zany it is, but you get to see a bunch of characters, Brandon, from 80s movies that you know, like that woman from
like her.
She's You're Fucked.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Yeah, like you get all Automobiles. The supporting cast makes Mistress of the Dark a great movie. And then when she's cooking dinner for the guy she likes and like demons and monsters are coming out of the stew pot, like, dude. Yeah, Arrow put that out on Blu-ray, and they did a great job on that. They did a great heavy tape. Now I wonder if they have the original artwork. I didn't know that Arrow put it out. Hold on, I gotta see if they put. I gotta see if I have the original artwork on that.
Yeah, I need to buy that if they put it. I didn't realize they put it out because I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop.
All right, so here's the Blu-ray Arrow did. Mistress of the Dark.
Nice.
All right, so here's the artwork. Let me see if I can flip it and it's the original. Oh, look, this even comes with a booklet. This is a nice release.
Cool.
All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Oh!
I see it.
Bro.
Dude, that's awesome. There you go. Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better.
Dude, I want to watch this movie again so bad. I got to do a YouTube short about this movie. I really love it. Hey, does Great White have a song in the beginning when she's driving? I can't remember if that was the band. It's like it's kind of like
at this point. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's a hair metal track, but I can't remember who it is. Dude, yeah. This is to me, if you don't love this movie, you don't get you don't get the 80s. And I wasn't even there, but if I'm just saying, this movie is so fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I love it.
Next on the list is another Videoland classic, Facing the Sun. We have Maximum Overdrive on VHS.
Brandon.
Emilio Estevez.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you. You remember that teaser?
That's right.
With Stephen King?
Yep.
Dude.
He's such a nerd, dude.
Dude. And the Halloween 3 Chariots of Pumpkin song is playing in that video too. In that promo. Yes. Dude, that's a great bad movie. Soundtrack. Who made who?
I love it. Isn't even a bad movie, because I never knew people thought it was a bad movie until like the mid 2000s, because as a kid I thought it was just a good fucking movie. Well, I never knew it was a bad film.
Well, I mean Stephen King directing.
Like, a lot of people say it's a bad.
Well, you can tell a guy that was on cocaine directed it, I think.
Heavy.
But I like it. I like it.
The soundtrack definitely helps it be better than it actually is, probably.
Dude, Vestron put it out on Steelbook a while back. I don't know if you remember what it looked like.
Really?
Emilio Estevez looks like an N64 character on the front. Like the image of it is so bad. See, this is what screws with me, Brandon, about artwork. If it's good, I'm excited, right? Like if they do good artwork, it's exciting. But what if it's really bad, I'm even more excited. There's something about having shitty artwork on something that makes me want it even more. Like I love shitty ass artwork. Awesome. Go ahead. What we got next?
I hear you. Next is Ghost Town. Infamous.
Dude, fuck you for having that. Like that is a great movie. That's an underrated Empire Charlie Band movie. Big time.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That is dude. That used to like grab my attention as a kid at the video store when I never rented it as a kid, but dude, I would even flip it over because my mom was just kind of like, don't be grabbing a bunch of tapes. But dude, I would stare at it. Like it was
it's like a great
I
poster.
Would stare at that skeleton like it was a showdown, dude. Like, and it would just like captivate my imagination. Fully captivate.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
And Homeboy from Puppet Master plays the bad guy. Which is crazy.
Dude, so funny.
And did you notice that this movie, this and Ghoulies 2 both have the same theme song?
Yes. Yes.
For some reason. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, they repurposed some of they repurposed stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just bizarre. Anyways, yeah, great movie. Also funny as hell is the sticker on here says 50-cent charge if tape is not rewound.
You better rewind that shit.
That's
yeah.
No. Oh, what is going on here? All right. Some of these are falling apart. Next up, we have a sealed copy from the 90s release of a very good sequel 20 years later, Trilogy of Terror 2.
Wow. I've never seen that on VHS before. Obviously, I know it probably existed, but I've never seen an actual VHS copy of that, much less sealed.
Yep, for distributor promotional use only, not for sale, rental, duplication, or public performance.
Look at the Zuni, dude. Very, very cool.
A lot of people narc on this movie, but it's a great sequel, dude. And like his story, although it's not as good as Amelia, but like He Who Kills in this movie is a fantastic sequel. Great stuff, dude.
Hell yeah, very cool. Paramount.
I watched this when it premiered in '96 on TV, so that's pretty fucking cool. Pretty damn cool. Next up, we're getting down to the wire, dude. Getting down to the wire. We have, and for some reason, I wore this fucking tape out when it came out. I watched it so much, I'm not sure why. It's not a great horror film by any means, but it is. Bones.
Snoop Dogg. Dude, I hate that movie.
Do you hate it? I watched it so many fucking times.
So Scream Factory put it out on Blu-ray a few years ago. Like, just like they didn't do nothing really. They just put it out. And I really wanted to like it, dude. I just thought it was a piece of shit. But I love that artwork so fucking much, dude.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if Snoop Dogg did, like, Spooky Empire and, like, he was just there signing a bunch of Bones VHS tapes and DVDs?
Oh, dude, that'd be so good. That would be so good. I'll be there.
Like, dude, I say it's a piece of shit. That's probably a little, dude, I just didn't enjoy it. I was just, I wanted something to, dude, the problem is when you have something as good as Tales from the Hood, you want all those kinds of movies to be that good. And the fact is they can't.
I agree.
Not everything could, like no. Not even the Tales from the Hood sequels. Like 2 was abysmally bad. Nobody liked Tales from the Hood
3, but 2 was a fucking disgrace.
I heard part 3 was actually pretty good, but the fact is I think nobody went to go see it because nobody liked 2. But I heard part 3 was actually pretty good. Dude, I'm going to buy those movies. I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to buy them and I'm going to watch them.
All right. From Camp Video, the original VHS release, probably the only VHS release. I've shown this out before. Slime City.
Dude, that has to be one of the best movies I haven't seen. Everybody tells me how good that is, and I haven't seen Slime City.
it makes you feel disgusting. Like you have to take a shower. Like Toxic Avenger 1 and 2 make you feel gross. Like you need to take a shower. This movie makes you feel like you have to take a shower. That movie Street Trash, it makes you feel nasty. This makes you feel way nastier. I like this better than Street Trash for sure. But I think I'm in the minority on that. There's the spine, the camp, the really weird camp motion picture logo is very strange. And there's the back. I know there's a Blu-ray release of this, and there's a sequel that came out a couple years ago too. I haven't seen the sequel, or I don't have the Blu-ray either, but I've heard good things about it. But yeah, really good soundtrack too. I love the soundtrack of this movie. It really feels 80s. It feels grungy and gross and like it came from the fucking sewer of some long since forgotten metropolis.
Wait up, you said there's a sequel. It's called Slime City Massacre?
Yep. Haven't seen it. Yep, that's the sequel.
There's this Blu-ray.
That's part 1 and the 2 in it.
But wait up.
Has both those movies in the back.
Camp Motion Pictures double feature. What the fuck is this? Because I know
Charlie Band had some kind of a Charlie Band had some kind of a hand in this. I'm pretty sure. I thought he did at least. I thought he had some kind of a hand in this, but I could be mistaken because I don't see his name on this anywhere. But for some reason, I thought Charlie Band was involved in this, but I could be wrong.
I got to research this before I buy it because I'm trying to figure out what the hell label this is. It says Camp Motion Pictures, but that's what the VHS said, right?
Yeah, Camp Motion Pictures.
How could they?
It might be totally indie. It's probably just the guy, right? The guy who owns it from back in the day. Got a bunch of copies printed from his old negative. Because if I owned Loon, which I do, and I wanted to get it mass produced, I would go to a company, have them replicate it, and then I would sell them under my label. So it's probably the same situation. Because I thought this was a Charlie Band thing. It's not. It's totally indie from Camp Video. So I'm sure it's whoever owned it just had them made and is selling them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Good going on.
Sort of like with Shock and Dead kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm not even thinking of Slime City that Vinegar Syndrome put out. I'll have to figure it out. Go ahead. I'll figure it out. That was great.
One of the most prized. It is. I love it. It's iconic as shit. I want a one sheet of it, but it probably doesn't exist. The next one is a movie that I love. I've talked about it at length before. It's one of the best sequels ever, one of the best comic book movies ever. I just bought a huge one sheet for it. It is The Return of Swamp Thing VHS. Iconic.
Look at that, dude.
Fucking iconic, dude.
Heather Locklear. Classic MCA.
So great soundtrack
tape.
Too. Oh yeah. Heavy too.
I've got a Critters tape like that, man. And the Critters tape I have, it's like the MCA tape as well. And mine, people would cut off the tab for the bottom, but the MCA tapes, they had the flaps on the top and the bottom. My Critters one still has both flaps on top and the bottom. You know,
nice.
Very The Critters VHS tape is classic, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is another classic VHS tape I ordered through Videoland, and thankfully I still have it. This is the VHS tape of Ghoulies 2.
Oh, the best. The best, dude. That 4K kicked my ass on that as well.
I gotta buy it. I watched your video on it.
It really
came out of nowhere too, right? Because I feel like last year, part 1 came out on 4K, and you're like, part 2 is gonna get a 4K. And then I saw your video. I'm like, when the fuck did the 4K come out for part 2? Like, I didn't even hear about it. So until I saw your video.
So they were gonna put part 2 out just a few months after part 1, but MVD actually said, hey, we're having issues with it. We're gonna put out the Blu-ray right now, but the 4K will come at a later time. So that finally they got it done, and it was awesome. It looked so good.
Good.
So
was it a better transfer than the 4K for part 1? So I don't have that yet either. But
see, I verbally said that last year the best 4K movie I saw was Ghoulies. It was that good. The Ghoulies 4K was that good. Ask anybody ask one of my viewers that bought it. I said, listen, I will stand by. The Ghoulies 4K was insanely good. and Ghoulies 2 was just as good too. All those MVD 4K so far have been sensational. Dude, their Swamp Thing 4K kicked my ass. Made me a bigger fan of the movie, and it was uncut. And it was uncut, so we got to see Adrian Barbeau's, so to speak. Where are we going next? What you got next, dude?
I got 3 more.
We got people getting their money for this video.
I know. I'm telling you, we're at an hour and 57. Holy crap.
They love these videos. Go ahead.
Good, good. We have blood dolls.
Dude. I don't hate blood dolls. I kind of like it.
I don't hate it. I have all that promo stuff, and I have the pimp action figure and stuff.
I go back and watch your video, like a huge blood dolls collection for some reason. I just think the video is hysterical.
Thank you. Yeah. I was just compelled to buy that stuff, dude. It popped up, and I was like, I got to get all this shit, dude. All of it. I need it. And the last 2. Now, I will defend this movie until the ends of the earth. It is a fucking train wreck, terrible movie, but I will defend it. Like Blood Dolls, I made a video about it. You probably know which one I'm talking about. Bought all kinds of stuff for it for no reason to do a showcase video, but I will defend the movie as terrible as it is. It is, I want to say it's from 2000. 99, so it's still a 90s movie.
What is it?
Ragdoll. 2 copies. One is the screener, one is a previewed blockbuster tape. So dude, there we go.
Charlie Band did not give a shit back then.
He did not, dude. He did not.
I can remember when I was a kid and that movie came out. I can remember my brother and me seeing that tape, and my mom would be like, "What do y'all want to rent?" And we would take the cover and walk it over to my mom sometimes, and she'd be like, "Put that back," and we would just laugh so much. Good 2 times. Copies of Ragdoll. One's white, one's yellow.
Yeah, this one looks totally bleached out, like it was sitting in the sun too long.
Fantastic, dude. I like that $9.99.
That's it
from Blockbuster on there.
Isn't that dope?
So, Brandon, let's go over the top 5 VHSs you have.
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Go ahead and grab these for me if you can, so we can review. Number 1, I'm picking the top 5. You're not picking the top 5.
You're picking the top 5. Okay.
I'm picking the top 5 because I've got taste. Grab the Mad Balls tape. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you your top 5, and then me and you are we're gonna decide on what the actual best. Grab the Disney DuckTales.
Oh, holy shit. Okay.
I'm sorry. You probably have it at the very bottom of a stack.
Give me a moment. I had 5 stacks, and I've condensed them into 2 stacks.
Oh, second. God.
There we go. Got it.
Grab Haunted Honeymoon.
Where the fuck is that? There it is. Got it.
Grab Ghost Town.
Okay.
And last but not least, grab Winnie the Pooh, Booty You 2. Brandon, this video has convinced me why collecting VHS is fun. You realize? Like, I'm convinced. I am.
Good. I'm glad I can convince you. Here and now, we convinced Christian to get into VHS tapes.
Brandon, you're going to show the audience these tapes real quick, and then me and you are going to think about what the best cover art is, and then we're going to say it on 3. All right, so the first one we're looking at is Ghost Town.
Yep, there it is.
All right.
Haunted Honeymoon.
Haunted Honeymoon.
Yep.
Cartoon Classics, Walt Disney.
Yep. The Mad Balls Gross Jokes.
Mad Balls Gross Jokes.
And then Winnie the Pooh, Boo to You 2.
All right, Brandon. Have you come up with your answer?
As far as the best cover?
Yes. Don't say it, but just tell me.
This is a trick.
I got it.
Well, I got to know the parameters. Is it like iconic status or just like the best look, like the most eye-catching cover?
Just if you have don't even think about don't even think about it in that sense. You've got these 5 tapes in front of you. You're gonna just grab one that catches you the quickest.
Okay.
You got
3, it? Or you count down. I got it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, then answer. Okay, you ready? 3,
ready.
2, 1. Mad Balls.
Winnie the Pooh.
See, that's my number 2 I was going to go with. I love the Winnie the Pooh, but dude, show me the Mad Balls. Show me the Mad Balls again. Tell me you don't love the Mad Balls.
I like the cover better, but I feel like as far as the catchy on the shelf, I'm grabbing this because it's brighter. That's where my mindset goes. But obviously, this is the better one. This is the better one.
But
for sure,
dude, Ghost Town, like you can't sleep on Ghost Town. Look how
it's the most iconic.
Ghost Town is, dude. Look, Brandon. You know what? Pretend that was the cover of a Goosebumps book. Tell me that's not a Goosebumps.
It looks like
book.
it, doesn't it? It totally is. Maybe it's the same artist. Maybe it's Jacobus or Jacobus, whatever you call him. Could be.
This is what is this what collecting VHS is about right here? Like you don't need to watch these, but it's fun to reminisce and hold them and talk about them and look at them.
It's exactly because in reality, I'm rarely going to ever sit down and watch these tapes, and because they're so much better, I can watch it on 4K or Blu-ray or Amazon Prime or whatever.
Or DVD.
It's very rare that I'll sit down and watch them unless I want the effect, right? But to your point about wanting to watch better quality stuff, that's true. But at the same time, VHS kind of shoots my argument about that through the roof, because although I want to watch a 4K quality disc or a Blu-ray over a DVD or a VHS tape for the most part, when I was a kid or even a young adult watching VHS tapes on old tube TVs, I was perfectly happy, perfectly fine, perfectly okay and acceptable quality. The same way I watch a 4K, I'm like, oh, that was great. Watching a VHS tape didn't affect, because again, I was stealing a note from, I guess, Dave McRae. It's what you think you see, what you think you hear. So the VHS tape being lesser quality never really affected our enjoyment of these things. So that's when I come in, I'm like, is it really worth always upgrading? And it is sometimes, but I was just as happy with bullshit VHS tapes as I am with 4K. If that I know that was long-winded, but if that makes any sense whatsoever.
No, it totally makes sense, man. It totally makes sense. And this goes back, from me talking about this kind of goes back to the question I asked: how much is a memory worth to you? And I say that metaphorically and really just, it's a rhetorical question, but how much is a memory worth? I think I can understand why people, like, just talking, when you showed me some covers that I remembered, like Ghost Town, standing there and just staring at the tape as I was going through the shelves, or the movies where it's those weird, overtly sexual ones where you've got the naked women and like some kind of like dominatrix looking girl or whatever, and like the stuff that I know I couldn't watch, so I would make these movies in my head, and they were crazy movies in my head, like that kind of stuff, dude. Man, remarkable.
Yep,
remarkable.
Oh yeah.
Brian, you have any final thoughts for everybody?
Yeah, go buy some VHS tapes. Check it for white mold, but go buy some VHS tapes. And if anybody out there doesn't want their VHS tapes, send them to me. Message me on IG, and I will give you an address, and you can send all your VHS tapes to me. That's all I got.
You heard the man, guys. Well, I'm convinced this video has made me a bigger VHS fan, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Find Brandon over at Tabata Vision right now. And for the Planet Dirty fans, hopefully you enjoyed this as well. I think this could have been like a live as well. I thought it went pretty good. So cheers to everybody. Yep. God bless you all, and we'll see you down the road. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.